throughout the week of the Salon, we are meeting the people and the ideas of haute horlogerie. And welcome also to those who are watching online on our live stream. This session is devoted to one of the most ambitious and spectacular acts in the world of global sports, and a partnership that Panerai has forged around it. And for that, I would like to invite on stage the CEO of Panerai, Jean-Marc Pontroué. And the team director and skipper of the Luna Rossa sailing team, Max Sirena. Welcome.
Good morning. Morning.
And that's the Luna Rossa, and it's the first time that it's shown in public. Mr. Pontroué, tell us a little bit about this partnership, how it was born, what is the goal?
So Panerai has always been in the sea world, and we believe a lot in Panerai that it's part of our mission to develop a certain number of activities around the sea. So at that SIHH, we take the opportunity of that fair to unveil a certain number of product concepts and experiences which are all associated to the world of sea. The second point that Panerai is not new in the world of America's Cup, and we did it 2 years ago with the American and the Japanese team. But of course, being part of the Italian team, being an Italian brand, make us being very honored, and that's why it was a natural association we were having together. And finally, what I was saying to Max and Lorenzo yesterday, it's a question of people. We don't do a partnership in our brand if you don't have a feeling that the wedding we have for the next 3 years will not be associated to great experiences, added value for our common activities, and also having fun. And I think that these common values we are having with the sponsors of Luna Rossa, and of course all the Luna Rossa team, was making this partnership a natural one.
We have a video that kind of sets the mood for the partnership.
Exactly,
so
and I propose you to see what do we mean in terms of partnership, thanks to this video.
I just want to make sure it's clear for everyone, especially the new guys. This cup is not an attempt. This cup is not a real search for future races. This cup is not 3 years from now. This cup will be won in the now. We will push our limits, and we're gonna win this cup every day. This cup will be our obsession, our dream, our blessing, our course. This cup will be our everything. Every day, every night, every hour, every second. This cup will be our family for the next 3 years. We are Luna Rossa, and we are challengers, for now.
Challengers for now. Max Sirena, you are going to lead this challenge. It's ambitious. We have seen your philosophy in the video. Tell us a little bit more about how you're going to do this.
Well, yeah, of course I'm leading the team, but together with this group of people and some other people are based in Cagliari and working now. It's a long road to 2021, and as Jean-Marc said before, at the end the team is a group of people, and the only way to win a cup, a trophy like this one is find the right people in the right moment. And I'm pleased to be here, and I'm pleased to have this partnership. We worked together for months to make it happen. And I would like to thank, obviously, Jean-Marc, Panerai, and Lorenzo, and Prada, and Pirelli for that. I think it's going to be a great opportunity for the two brands to work in the next 3 years. And it's funny because actually it reminded me that this morning, a few minutes ago, one of the words we are saying all the time in the America's Cup, you can buy everything, but the only thing you cannot buy is the time. So having Panerai on our arm is a good reminder for us to do everything well with the time available.
Okay, I'm going to come back with a couple of questions on that. But Mr. Pontroué, Panerai is going to create a new collection of watches around this partnership. We have seen the first in the video. It's this one, the submersible Luna Rossa. I assume there will be more. I don't ask you to reveal what's going to be in the future, but these watches also are designed and built using materials and technologies that come from sailing, and particularly from the America's Cup.
Well, the purpose of our technical team on working also with the engineers of Luna Rossa has been not to make a product on which we had the logo, because this would be too easy. So we are reusing the sails which have competed with Luna Rossa to make the dials. So we have a special process where Max, if he agrees, is sending me some used sails, and which with a special process we are using to make these dials. And these watches will be associated to a certificate signed by Max to certify that these watches are made with authentic components of the Luna Rossa boat.
And we can assume that future watches will undergo similar
and that
processes.
will be the common denominator this year for the 5 watches we will launch during the year, having the same typical approach in doing the dials.
Okay. Maxina, you have already raced several times, 6 times if I'm not mistaken, in the America's Cup. You have won it twice as part of 2 other teams. The last one was actually the last time, and you were part of the team that you're now challenging. So tell us a bit about challenging your old team and positioning yourself for this kind of race.
Well, first of all, the America's Cup is an hard event because you're working for a few years, 2 or 3 years before actually going out and racing against our opponent. And it's funny because you're doing the best you can in the time frame you have, and then everything you play everything in such a short time, and you need to make sure your boat is actually competitive from day one. Because if you go out in the water with a boat which doesn't perform well, it's pretty hard to recover or having a second chance. And that is the reason why in the America's Cup there is no second. There is only one guy, one team winning the trophy. It's going to be a long route. There will be a lot of events in the next couple of years ahead before actually challenging and racing against the defender. But first of all, we need to beat all the other challengers before actually racing against Emirates Team New Zealand. And but I think we are working pretty hard to try to achieve that.
Now, this is the first time that this model of the boat is shown. Of course, all the secret parts of it are not there. But these are not just normal sailing boats. These are, highly technological machines. There are dozens or hundreds of streams of data that come out real time. They're surrounded by a whole technological system that allows them to race in a very effective and competitive way. Can you give us some examples of that?
Yeah, well, we came back to the manual after several cup with the multi-hull. And as you can see, it's a pretty unusual manual. There is no keel, There is those two foil, those two arm, the yellow one, they are moving up and down according to the sailing mode. And but just to give you an idea on how the cap and the naval industry, especially in the sailing world, changed in the last few years. In the cap in 2007, so 10 years ago, in the design office, we had probably 6 or 7 naval architects, and the rest were structural engineer and stuff like that. Today, we only have 1 naval architect, and the rest of the team is mechanical and electronics engineer, software engineer, simulation. So that give you an idea on how everything changed and how the technology, which is coming from outside of the naval industry, is coming more from aeroplane or aerospace, moving to the America's Cup. And with this boat, we're going to reach easily more than 40 knots. We are doing, the guy that are doing simulation on the simulator in our base in Cagliari, and we are reaching super high speed in a really small amount of wind and breeze. So it's going to be pretty spectacular to see.
You just mentioned Cagliari, and we saw also in the video your headquarters. So the first race is going to happen in Cagliari, southern tip of Sardinia, but the final race is going to happen in Auckland, New Zealand. The seas of the southern oceans are not exactly like the waters of the Mediterranean. What's the difference, and how do you prepare with the same boat and the same team for such a different environment?
Well, obviously, we choose Cagliari because we are an Italian team, and we were looking for a base in Italy, and Cagliari was giving us the best condition in terms of weather and logistic as well, because we need to remember we are more than 100 people coming from all around the world, and we need a place able to allocate this number of people. And well, it's always hard to replicate the same condition of one place compared to the other one. We know Auckland pretty well because we spend, probably most of us spend many years in New Zealand and in Auckland. We're going to race pretty close to shore inside of the channel. So it's going to be pretty short race and quick and fast. And we're going to simulate quite a lot those type of situation in Cagliari and in the simulation section we are doing.
Okay, let's see if anyone in the room has any question. We do have microphones, and if you have a question for either Jean-Marc Pontroué or Max Sirena, please just raise your hand. This is supposed to be also a press conference to announce this partnership. So anyone has a question? I'm trying to spot the raised hands.
The first question is always the most challenging one.
Absolutely. Here, microphone is coming just behind you. Please.
To both of you, common values between Luna Rossa and Panerai.
What are the common values between the two organizations?
Well, this guy is after looking for each second he can win. So it's about performance. It's about lightness in his boat to be able to reach these 40 knots. In our company, making watches like Carbotech, where we have this material since now a couple of years, is something which is part of the roots of our brand. And also one sentence I could reuse from my friend Mike Horn is that our envy to win is more important than our fear to lose. And I think that this is one of the common spirit we have between Luna Rossa and us at Panerai. And finally, the beauty to work also with two sponsors like Prada and Pirelli, where we have a lot of common association and exchanges we can have between three industries which have nothing to do to each other.
Max, anything to add?
Yeah, I think there is three points to go on top of what Jean-Marc just said. Well, first of all, we are an Italian team. I mean, there is an Italian flag on the boat. Panerai, I know we are in Swiss, is part of the big group, but it's an Italian brand. And second is Panerai is a prestigious brand. I mean, I'm really in love with watches, and I'm happy to wear these watches. And the other thing is not just a commercial. It's not just a commercial partnership. It's really, we want to obviously tell a story, tell the truth, what's going to happen behind the scene, but also there will be a technological partnership between the engineering of Officine Panerai and Luna Rossa, and we're gonna already start to exchange some of the technology there is. I mean, if you think how much technology there is in such a small pieces, I mean, just to give you an idea, this boat is going to fly out on this little yellow horizontal part, and there is a flap which is moving 20 degrees of range in 1 second. So it means the technology that is behind this movement is huge, and the amount of space there is in this part is really limited and small. So we are confident we could take some advice and some technology coming out from
We're talking about
Panerai.
a big boat and very micro technological solutions here.
Unfortunately, yes.
Anyone else with a question? Yes, here in the middle. Just wait for the microphone, please. It's coming to your right.
Why did you choose 47 millimeters?
Because Panerai stands for big watches from its origin. The initial inspiration watch to do the submersible was a 60 millimeter, because at that time Panerai was the official supplier of the Italian Marina Militare. And we did it a more civilized version at 47. It remains a big watch in the industry, but Panerai has, from the very beginning whatsoever, the territories where we operate our business, the typical Panerai customer is someone who loves big watches. And we were testing the watches with the Luna Rossa team this morning, and I even believe that for some of them, the 47 is a little bit too small.
Yeah, you've seen the train in the video, absolutely. Anyone else? Other questions? Don't hesitate to raise your hand. Otherwise, Max, indeed, we have seen the team training. It looks like very hard training. Aside from the physical aspect, how are you going to prepare the team for the challenge?
Well, again, it's a long process, and again, it's not just me. I mean, there is this larger group of people, talented people here, and we have almost 40 designers and 60 people working on other departments. I think to win the cup is actually the goal to try and to achieve that goal is make less mistake than the other. There is the perfect world that doesn't exist. You need to just make one less mistake compared to our opponent, and that is the way to go. And the other thing is we need to always push over the limit, thinking outside of the box, but then at some stage you need to take the right decision. And I think specifically in this period is a decision period. So wherever we're going to decide now is going to reflect our result in the next couple of years. And in fact, we're going to fly back immediately, because tomorrow we're going to have a launch week of design meeting with all the designers and the key guys. And the other thing is I'm privileged to have people like this guy that you guys gonna see later on the stage. They are all super talented and skilled people, and most of them, they won world title or few America's Cup. And again, it's a privilege for me to be with them.
A great team. You're going to see them in a moment. Any other question? Doesn't seem to be the case. So we're going to get some people on stage who are involved in this challenge. To allow for the space, I ask you to stand so we can take away the 2 chairs. Just leave them there. Somebody's going to come and take them. And I'm going to ask first the representative of the 2 big partners, Prada and Pirelli, to come on stage. Lorenzo Bertelli and Ferdinando Visconti di Modrone. Lorenzo Bertelli of Prada and Ferdinando Visconti of Pirelli. And then we have 6 members of the team, and I'm told this is the first time they appear in public. So, guys, up on stage. Come on.
Chuck.
James Pithil, Francesco Bruni, Shannon Falcone, Gilberto Nobili, Piero Sibello, and Vasco Vascotto.
We were talking about Chuck.
Oh,
He's a
yes.
big
Here
man.
is the wrist that is not really covered even by the big watch. Maybe you want to come a little bit closer, come on in, and some pictures for you. Oops, sorry about that. Pushed out by the big guys. There we go. We seem to have fed the hunger of social media. So thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Max.
Good luck
Thank
for
you.
the challenge.
Well done.
Go Luna Rossa.
Thank you. Thank you.
And this ends our second session of the day. We're going to be back at 11 here in the auditorium with a session devoted to Vacheron, Constantin, and some horological innovations. Back at 11 a.m. Geneva time. Goodbye. Thank you very much.